Guess who's back?
You're now listening to Unapologetic, the podcast, with your two hosts, Trey and Reg, discussing any and everything unfiltered.
Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Unapologetic, the podcast. Y'all know who it is. It's your favorite two North Carolinians. A little disgusted right now. We back for another week, pod. Give y'all this great content. Dre, how you doing?
You know what, man? I'm okay, man. I've actually had a pretty rough few days, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, ended up getting in a fender bender with my car. Man, it's just been wild, bro. It's been wild. But I'm still here. I'm still alive. Still gonna make it do what it do. I'm still blessed to be breathing and be able to share this platform with my nigga, man. Outside of what we'll talk about that just transpired a few moments ago. I'm all right, man. What's up with you?
I'm good, dog. No complaints, man. I'm enjoying the summer, I guess. Me and Luna spending our last days of her summer here. She got accepted in this camp. Summer camp back home where mom, so that starts the 7th, so I'm gonna get her up out of here this weekend because I have no intentions on being on the road next weekend, driving through Atlanta to Tennessee and everywhere else with all the traffic, everything going on. So I'm gonna get that out of the way this weekend, and and then I guess I do get to enjoy that holiday weekend if I want. So that's pretty much it, man. I mean, nothing much more going on besides that. Watching this draft that we'll get to, but you know what? Let's go ahead and
let's do it
into the sport. Absolutely. Let's start out with some hand claps. Congratulations, Oklahoma City Thunder, for winning the NBA championship, NBA Finals against the Indiana Pacers. Did not see it going 7, but it was a good series nonetheless. If you a fan of basketball and you like basketball and not just wanting to see star players, I can't complain about the series at all. I did hate to see Hallie go down like that. Looked like he was about to make that shit very interesting. Looked like it's about to be very interesting. But the powers that be to have it, but once again, congratulations to them. Congratulations to the Pacers for actually being there, because no one penciled that in. No one had them being there.
Nope.
And they had a hell of a run on through it. For sure. A lot of them players made them some money, especially Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell. Probably Mathurin probably did too.
Yeah.
So Neesmith. So good finals, man. I wasn't disappointed at all, man. I didn't need to see LeBron, Steph, KD, and whoever the superstars that everyone playing like, oh, this is the boring finals. Like, we don't have no superstar power in and all that. I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah, no, and we do have superstars. It's tomorrow's superstars,
right.
Or
absolutely
argue today's superstars, right?
Yeah.
Because who fucking with Shea? So, like, what are we talking about?
True. I saw this thing that said Shea Gilgeous Alexander is who a lot of y'all think Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell is.
I think that's fair.
I do too. Couldn't disagree more.
I mean,
I couldn't disagree at all.
Yeah.
Couldn't disagree at all. I do. The niggas likes, man. He uses every advantage that he has, whether they call a push off or not. He knows how to get to his spots. And can't nobody do nothing with him.
Cannot.
So,
I mean, maybe was the league going to go in and try to fix it, or they? Because I mean, we know he pushes off. Yeah, he does.
right.
Pushes off.
And a lot of people do.
Yeah, but the league, that's the way the league is today. So
Right.
it's like, all
Yeah.
right, can't get mad at them for let that ride. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True indeed. True indeed. Yeah, and then to talk about uh if you want to say it should be an asterisk by the team name, I'm not by the championship. I'm not mad at that. I don't subscribe to that either. I'm not. I don't. I'm not a
no,
no
injuries happen in
injuries.
sports.
Yes, and you play who's in front of you. And you hear a lot of players say it like to be a champion, you have to have a little bit of luck on your side,
Right.
whether
Yep.
it's somebody getting injured or you not having to deal with injuries.
And they all say that.
Yeah.
They
So
all do.
I don't subscribe to none of it at all, man. Any thoughts on the injury to Hallie and the multiple Achilles and ACL injuries that we've seen lately, and the big talk about it about maybe shortening the season or it's the low top shoes, anything.
I don't think it's necessarily the low top shoes, right?
No.
Like I don't think so.
Nigga,
Uh,
when niggas was playing in Chucks
right.
and not facing that shit. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's just I think it's more so about these guys really taking the opportunity to like let their bodies heal and rest.
Right.
Um, you know, 82 games is a lot, but not to mention what they're doing to themselves and trying to get better in the off season or even
Hmm.
during the season, right? That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, the skill set in the NBA is so high right now with everybody's because everybody's working.
Right.
But
Uh,
what work comes injury.
yeah, I'm with you 100%. I saw this stat that it says something like uh at 35 years old, Jordan played 4,000 plus minutes that season. And that was more minutes than Halliburton played this year, more minutes than Tatum played, more minutes than Dame played. Um, No ACL, no Achilles injury. So I mean, I'm with you. It's just, I mean, of course, it was a slower paced game then, but it was a more physical game. So I'm with you with them taking the proper rest and time
Yeah,
because you hear the reports. A lot of them niggas talk about they play harder. A lot of people say that they be watching the basketball players, and a lot of them play harder during the summer, doing these Rucker Park runs and out in Cali. So yeah, like that summer, probably should take the time to rest.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, what else do we have sports wise? Oh, this I was very I'm not I like Kobe. I was never the Kobe fan, but it's really a little sickening to me to see these guys, mainly Gilbert Arenas, Tracy McGrady, and Jay Will talk how they're talking about with this whole ring culture talk, and they brought up the fact. Well, T Mac brought up the fact. His exact quote was, "I was just as good as Kobe. I just wasn't as fortunate. If I had a Shaq, I would be sitting on at least 3 rings myself." One, y'all niggas wasn't saying this shit when Kobe was around. Different story. But for T Mac wasn't on those slouch teams either. He wasn't
Yeah.
on those slouch teams. He had a prime Yao Ming. Yao Ming got hurt. I think three into the third season after T Mac was there. I think somebody fact checked it and looked it up. But is there a possibility that Kobe could have won a ring with Yao Ming and Steve Francis and some of the other players T Mac had? There's a good possibility. Who knows? But I just don't like the fact that how this talk came about. And I think Gilbert had the nerve to say Kobe was a side. He was looked at as the sidekick.
Uh, when it came down to Shaq,
Yeah.
well, I think for two of the rings, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he was a sidekick. I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think um, some things are better left unsaid, right?
Right.
Right, like let the man rest in peace. Yes, there was a time where T Mac averaged 30, but he wasn't a defensive presence like Kobe Bryant.
No.
Which has a lot to do with the success of Kobe's teams as well as Shaq. Yeah, okay.
Right.
But he also did it without Shaq.
Yeah. Yeah. As much as because that talk continued on for I guess 2 weeks, and we did talk about a little bit last week. I do think that ring talk is for the greats. That's what separates your greats. When you start talking about the Magics, the Birds, the LeBrons, the Stephs, MJ, Kobe, blah blah blah. Like no one is ever going to say that. Um, the example one of them used, we'll never say that Robert Horry was better than Charles Barkley because Robert Horry got more rings. No, Robert Horry is never going to be in the same conversation as Charles Barkley. That's I don't think that was the purpose of the ring culture, ring talk. Like when you start talking about the greats, it is we'll never say Allen Iverson is one of the greats that belong in the same room with Magic, and some of these other greats that have the championship rings and everything. Allen Iverson is a great by all means. But like Charles Barkley said, when some of these when I'm in the room with the 75 or 50 with 50 greatest and they start talking that ring talk and separating this and that, I gotta shut up. I gotta move to the side. Like it's a room for some of us guys, the Karl Malones, the John Stocktons, the Patrick Ewings, the blah 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 blah. And then you have the elite of the elite.
Okay, I like the elite of the elite. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like how that sounds. Okay, I can subscribe to that. I fuck with that. Yeah, you're right. You're right from that aspect. I mean, yeah, because the last thing, what we're going, what I don't want you here or want anyone to call my phone and saying Reggie is a clown for saying Allen Iverson isn't an all time great because you didn't say.
Yeah, no.
But the elite of the elite, yeah,
yeah,
I could fuck with that. Right. Yeah.
Matter of fact, speaking of that, somebody just sent me Kendra Perkins. People remember champions, so let's not start moving the goalposts and lowering the standards. Championships do matter. When you talk about being in the conversation as far as the GOATs and all-time greats, they won rings at a high level. Bill Russell, Jordan, Magic, Bird, Zeke, Kobe. Matter of fact, Kobe probably rolling over his grave right now. By some of these comments about ring culture. So yeah, all time greats, ring culture, winning rings at a high level. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can subscribe to this. Side note, some of these guys that are getting drafted, I have no idea who they are. This guy, Trey Johnson, I don't know who he is.
What did he wear to the draft? Anywho,
I don't know who he is. But okay.
Texas. All right, so I don't think we do. Let me see. Sports. We said we congratulate the Thunder. We talked about Tyrese injury. Draft. Of course, there wasn't a secret that Cooper Flag was going number one.
Right.
Let's talk about the Hornets. That's the only thing I really want to talk about. Forget the draft.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Hornets.
Okay.
I'm not a Charlotte Hornets fan. I don't have a basketball team that I root for.
Okay.
But Charlotte is the hometown team. My issue is that when I watch Oklahoma City win a championship,
okay,
and build the team that they built, I ask myself why the Hornets can't do that. Same small market team. One would say, would you rather be in Charlotte or Oklahoma City? You might choose Charlotte.
Yeah, you probably would choose Charlotte.
Then you look at Charlotte and draft history. And Charlotte had SGA, traded him for
Mm,
Batum
mm,
and a
mm,
draft pick that ended up becoming Miles Bridges,
mm-hmm.
which Miles Bridges is he's
He will,
serviceable, he's decent, but he's not
he,
SGA.
he will not get any better than what he is right now.
Right, he's hit his ceiling.
100%.
Um, when you look at some of the other picks that they made and shipped out on draft day,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to go back that far. Um, it just leaves you to wonder, like, what is really going on? Because this team that OKC built through the draft, the only thing they did was, and actually I was gonna say the only thing they did really was trade for Hartenstein and Caruso. But guess what? They traded for Caruso, Giddy, which is another person they got through the draft, and Giddy was he was on his way in OKC.
Yeah.
They just had to make more room for Shea
Right.
because Giddy is a ball handler.
Right.
So what's stopping Charlotte from being that, from doing that?
I don't know. I don't know. I am a Hornets fan, and at the end of the day, it's very, very frustrating. I think you have the opportunity to uh, in this league, you have to have athletic players. Now, I don't know what the game plan is for him. I don't know what the game plan is for LaMelo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about it, is he just going to be? I mean, I know they say he's a two-way player, right? Um,
Who?
talking about Con Knipple.
Oh, okay. And yes, they for those that don't know, as we speak, they just drafted Con
Con
Knipple from
Knipple
Duke,
from Duke, yes.
who I'm
Um,
not a big fan of, but
so for me, it's like this. It's like, does what is the game plan with him, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
is he going to be? Do you want him to be like a revised JJ Redick or some shit? Like, is that what you want him to be? And the reason why I say it is because we know LaMelo can dish it when he's
Right.
healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing they're banking on the driving kick, but there's ISO ball in the league, so there is no
Right.
realistically who gets wide open shots in the league. They
Yeah.
don't. That's why I say the skill set in the league is crazy right now
Yeah.
because it's one-on-one basketball. So there is no wide open shots. There is no. It's very,
Mm-hmm.
very rare that you see a wide open shot in the NBA. Just
Uh-huh.
taking the motherfucker off the dribble, making it happen. Can Connor Knipple take someone off the dribble?
I don't think so. That not stat, but whatever they put down there, he's a straight line driver. That makes no sense to me. Because yes, I mean, okay, he's that obviously. I guess that's what he don't have a bag, so you're not going to get him in a one-on-one situation and him get past somebody, get to the rim. What is his position for you? Small,
Two guard.
really? Ooh. I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't think he's athletic enough to be a two guard. And
he,
I'm with you. I'm guessing on it, but yeah, I don't think he's athletic enough to be a two guard.
is he big enough to be a three? No,
He's
he's
about
not.
he's about, what, 6'7"? He's not.
I thought they just said he was 6'5". I could be wrong. I thought I just saw 6'5" though.
Might be. Hey, he might. It. Yeah. So if it by that, I'm with you. I don't know what the game plan is for him. I was thinking he's more of a small forward, and that's what was throwing me off because I'm like, okay, you got Brandon.
Right. I, but I mean, a lot of teams play positionless football, basketball, though, bro.
True. True.
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Like this guy Jeremiah Fierce, I don't know who that is, and I don't like that. I don't know. That's wild. Anywho, we
I'm just completely thrown off by it. Like I said, maybe it's because I'm not a Con Knipple fan. It just leaves me clueless on you know, not and it's even more than OKC because you have a let's not even use San Antonio because they struck it big with Wimbyana, but
Yeah.
okay, we'll go with Castle, and whoever else they're trying to add those pieces to. Indiana, they done theirs through free agency. You have the other teams that are building this draft capital,
Right.
and you know I don't. It's just to me. I think Charlotte has had the opportunity to have not the same team as OKC, but have a young team that can mesh, gel, and build like a young team full of you know guys like OKC that can get out there and get to it.
Yeah. I'm
I don't know, but
sick of it.
yeah.
Fucking sick of it, man. But okay.
All right. Have you know who Joie Chavis is?
Nah, tell me about it.
I don't know much about her, but I saw this thing and it was kind of interesting to me. She is the
What's
baby
on?
mom of Bow Wow, Future, and Trey.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And she recently said that she is tired of taking care of her children. She wish she had more help.
Future and Bow Wow, right?
Future, Bow Wow, and Trevon Diggs.
Diggs too. She ain't getting no help. Damn, that's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
for both, because if they not helping, I don't know what they're doing. But if they not helping, that's some bullshit now.
right.
We already know what tight time Future be on. So
Well, we haven't heard that none of these men are deadbeats.
mm-hmm.
But
And maybe she wasn't talking about all of them. Maybe she was talking about one in particular.
Yeah. But some may ask, well, hey, you knew these guys' reputation and MO before you decided to even deal with them in that capacity.
Well, I can't really fuck with that because everybody has a past, so everybody has uh I don't know. I don't even know what I'm
Yes, everybody has a pass.
everybody has everybody
Yeah.
has a past
Yeah.
one, but also too, like when you look at people, when you get to know people, right? Like parenthood changes you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Or it should at least.
Mm-hmm.
It should. Becoming a parent should change you.
Mm-hmm. But if you already got 6 children out there running around and it ain't changed you, what's the chance that seventh gonna change you?
Yeah, that's real.
You know.
That's real.
I found that interesting. I was like, well, hey, baby girl. Jim Jones and Nas. Jim Jones has been on a tear. Said he's better than us. He makes more than us. He's more relevant than us. He is the and not just Nas, but he also mentioned Pusha T, Styles P as well. I, for one, say Jim Jones has lost his fucking mind. And he did recant one of the statements. He said, "Pull up the Billboard stats. I wash them."
Well,
Yes, people pulled up the Billboard
about
stats for
Nas.
him,
Oh my god.
and it wasn't close in
It,
Nas' favor. It was by far not what he thought he was going see or get. He should have known that himself. He should have known that himself. How do you not know that about your catalog versus Nas's catalog and what it
Jimmy
did on Billboard?
Jimmy smelling himself right now, man. But these takes, bro,
No,
you gotta chill out, Jimmy. You gotta chill out. And I fuck with Jimmy, man. I
right.
do. I fuck with Jimmy. But Jimmy's like a motherfucking clown right now. And don't feed me, it's a sport. Don't feed me, supposed to think you the best. Don't feed me that when it comes to rap.
Right. Yeah.
Don't feed me that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
You're not better, Jimmy.
no, not at all. Not at all.
You're not better than any of the niggas that you mentioned.
No. What? No. And for one, when Styles mentioned it, Styles said, I am an MC.
Period.
That's it. I'm not talking about any of that other stuff. Hit songs, making songs, any of that stuff. I am an MC. Jim is not, he's like, respectfully, Jim does not do what I do. He can't do what I do. He can't. And Jimmy disagreed wholeheartedly and said, we can do this. Jim, you don't, there's very few, I think, that is better than Styles when it comes to what he do. Jim is nowhere. Actually, I mean, I don't know. Dog,
it ain't Jim Jones.
It ain't Jim. It's not Jim. And I'm just
it ain't Jimmy.
Confused at his level of delusion.
Do you think he's delulu, or do you just think he's
probably clickbait too?
It's clickbait. It's got to be clickbait, dog.
Because we ain't even saying nothing about Pusha. He's not on Pusha's level. He's not on any of them guys' level.
Stop it. Stop it. He's not.
I saw that the back and forth he had with Shannon. Since then he's been really ramping up his workouts, posting the videos of himself doing pull-ups, and these niggas in the Marines and Army is killing him. Actually pitching module and saying, basically, Jimmy, this is how you do a correct push-up, going over it step by step. So he's getting the engagement that he wants, if that's what he's looking for. But to go on a ledge and say you're better than Nas, Styles, or Pusha is absolutely insane. We had a list. It was the top, I think it was the top 75 R&B artists of all time, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to do the top 10.
All right.
10.
From 10 to 1. Okay.
10, yep. 10 was Marvin Gaye. Number 9 was R. Kelly. Number 8, Mariah Carey. 7, Prince. 6, James Brown. 5, Whitney Houston. 4, Beyonce. 3, Michael Jackson. 2, Aretha Franklin. 1, Stevie Wonder. I don't like R. Kelly's placement.
It should be higher?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't have. So I won't make the argument for James Brown because I can't, because I didn't grow up in the James Brown era. James Brown music was I don't even think he was making music when I was born. He definitely wasn't when me growing up in the 80s. James Brown was this is some old school.
Right.
The majority of these artists, you could say I grew up listening to outside of maybe Aretha. I think Aretha would fall in that, even though she was probably making music in the 80s, but I think her heyday was probably before I was born. So outside of them two, to me, R. Kelly might be number 4. I don't have Beyonce that high. And the Beehive will kill me.
Yeah, I'm allergic to bees, bro. Chill out.
They'll kill me, but
chill out.
Listen, that R. Kelly catalog, that's tough out.
And what was the title of this list again?
Billboard's top, I think it was 75.
Billboard?
Yep, best artists, R&B artists of all time.
So when we're talking Billboard, we're talking about hits.
Yeah.
One would think.
One would think, yeah. You know what? There was I didn't want to read none of that shit. I'm not, but the sliding scales and all the other stuff. So I just popped on. So Patti LaBelle was 25. Let's see what they said about Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle is one of the most beloved songsters in R&B. She launched her 5-decade career in the 60s as the front woman of the Bluebells, a group that eventually rechristened itself as LaBelle. What the fuck happened? Oh, okay, as LaBelle. Where was it at? Rechristened itself as LaBelle. Released a hot 100 in R&B songs chart topper Lady Marmalade in 74 before disbanding a couple years later. From the 70s onward, the prolific LaBelle earned the nickname Godmother of Soul, owning up to more than a dozen solo albums and the crafting of classic slow jams like If You Only Knew and Love, Need and Want You. Um, so they don't talk about much when listing why. It's just like I guess what they've done. Um, when I look at R. Kelly, I think it says, damn, Usher was number 12. Okay. Ray Charles 11, Marvin Gaye 10. Of course, I said that. Um, yeah, R. Kelly. Is Beyonce a generational talent?
Beyonce is iconic, and um, her music's not for me.
Right. Or I.
So I I can't really answer that. I mean, I would have to say yeah.
I
Just based on where on she's held up at such high regard, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like
yeah.
you can't deny her talent as a entertainer and things of that nature, right? Like you can't. I mean, her songwriting ability, right?
You write songs?
She writes some songs.
Okay.
She
Her
writes
biggest hits are wrote by who? Neo and
her
other
big. I think I don't know about her
artists.
hits as of late because shit, everything she touches turns to gold, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's
So who
what.
we can't.
Yeah,
I mean, I would have to check the credits.
yeah. I mean, at this point in time, I don't think it's hard for anything to turn to gold with when she touched far and whatever they're gonna put behind it. She has every machine behind her. Just like what's her name? Um, Taylor Swift. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't name one Taylor Swift song. I saw this statistic that 97% of like her album goes platinum. So that's the equivalent. If she released a song with 20, an album with 20 songs on it, that's what 17, 18 songs of a 20 song album going platinum. That's insane.
I mean, shit. At the end of the day, bro, they doing something, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't sit back and speak on these people
Mhm.
on their catalogs because I mean, I have songs that I like from Beyonce and shit, right? But I'll be real
Mhm.
with you. Once she went solo from Destiny's Child, like I really didn't really listen to her, like talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
I know that was a while ago, but
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just me personally. But again, the music's not for me anyway.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. And
like,
and that's the main thing with me. I do think R. Kelly is I'm not he's creatively for what he's done,
mm,
as Nicki Minaj will say, a lot of these artists are his sons.
I believe that.
A lot.
I
Um,
believe that.
but how do you feel about Stevie being number one?
Stevie is definitely one of my favorite artists.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie is I would argue that Stevie is your favorite artist's son, your favorite artist's son.
Well, yeah, yeah. When you go further back, like he could be
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that inspiration to R. Kelly or Michael.
well, he is.
Yeah.
That Happy People shit
Mm-hmm.
is Stevie Wonder influence. Even he'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Brother.
Either way it go, this top 10 is tough. Prince.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even Mike Jack, right? Like, they call Mike Jack what, the king of pop, right?
King of pop.
So like, is his music R&B because he's singing? Like, is it like what like, that's why I don't fucking, man.
Yeah, Billboard is kind of iffy. Mariah Carey is probably the shaky one in the group, as you would say, the mystery me.
You think so? You think so? You think she's the fucking mystery Mariah Carey, dog? You think so? That's crazy. But I mean, it's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think she's the fucking mystery me? Cause
all right, so they released the top 50 New York rappers.
Oh shit.
All right, I'll start at 10 for you. 10 KRS, 9 Busta Rhymes, 8 DMX, 7 Nicki Minaj, 6 50 Cent, 5 LL, 4 Rakim, 3 Nas, 2 Biggie, 1 Hove, of course.
And what was the title of that list?
Top 50 New York rappers.
It just sort of depends on what you're basing it on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, realistically, like you said, Rakim was where?
Number 4.
And 50 was where?
Number 6.
And so are we saying that about Rakim? And mind you, I know you're a Rakim guy, right? Are we saying that based on what? On it's got to be. Is that on lyricism? Is that what it is?
That's where I would be confused because I mean, of course, album sales and everything else, 50 washes him, right?
One second. I'm getting a phone call from the big guy.
Okay.
Yes, son.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my bad.
Yes, son. Can you do what? Can you come in the basement with me? Do you want to come say hello on my podcast? You can come say hello on my podcast, and then you have to go back upstairs and go to bed, okay? I go to sleep. Well, that when you go to bed, that means you go to sleep. So if you're gonna come now, and then you got to go back upstairs. I'm waiting on you. Come on. Yeah. So it's got to be based on, I guess lyricism. I don't know, because I would argue like who is, I mean, with the run 50 had, 50 definitely has to be in the top 5 in my opinion. Like, no question about it, he has to be in the top 5. We talk about.
So, but that's where it becomes confusing me because, like I said, the lyricism. So if I don't have Jada being 16, if it comes to that,
if it's lyricism, no fucking way that Jada is. You drop the iPad, please. Leave the iPad right there. Put it on the ground.
Prodigy is number 11,
and
Jada is 16.
I've heard enough. Come here, man. Come say hello, dog.
Are you a fan of MF Doom, Dre?
I have learned about MF Doom now that I am older, and like, he is wild. Like, he can definitely rap.
Yeah,
he could.
He's 14. He's ahead of Jada.
MF Doom was a New York rapper? I didn't know
That's
that.
what they got. Well, I guess his roots is New York. I think he's born somewhere else, but yeah, that's where they got him as. Let me see. Cam is ahead of Big Daddy Kane, so I don't know. It can't be lyricism. Cam can't rap with Big Daddy Kane. Yeah. Cardi B is ahead of Raekwon. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of these lists are janky at best. Janky at best. So, um, we kind of talked about Offset, I guess, appearing to or attempting to or trying to get his get back by, I guess, going out with being seen with Stefan Diggs's ex. A lot of people were saying, like, this is exactly what you do. I don't get it. I don't get the whole sentiment of I have to find someone that looks better than my ex or is doing better than my ex to really look like I've got over whatever happened or I'm past that situation.
Man, Reg, give me one second.
Yeah. Back to it. We was talking about that 50 best rapper thing.
Yeah.
Just anywho, so the Hornets just traded Mark Williams to the Phoenix Suns for 29th pick and a first round pick in 2029.
So they were just trying to dump him off. All right. Just say that.
And of course, Houston picked tall boy from Duke, the center, Mal Watch,
Oh, that's what okay.
and he's going to Phoenix. So Phoenix got two big men just like that, along with Jalen Green and Devin Booker. Phoenix put a couple more pieces. They could be very dangerous.
Mm.
More of I don't know what Charlotte is doing or got going on. Um, but anywho, um, let's talk about the commander in chief real quick. All right, so on Juneteenth, he tweeted, "Too many non-working holidays in America. It is costing our country billions of dollars to keep all these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change if we're going to make America great again." And this tweet was tweeted on Juneteenth. Not any other holiday but Juneteenth. Yeah. Dog.
Well, the message is clear.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It is very clear. In other news, there was a decision made to bomb 3 nuclear facilities in Iran that he made, and it was carried out. Uh, it's being said that he acted without, I guess, on his own. There's a lot of ifs, ands, and back and forths about this. There's now a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Iran, I guess, retaliated by firing at a military base in Qatar, which did not was not successful. Everything was interacted. Well, not interacted, but intercepted. So, um, listen, y'all can calm down. You're sitting here in America. You're safe.
Yeah.
No one's coming over here. There may be a suicide bomber here or there, but no one's having any war on American soil.
Well, let's not act like that's not a big deal.
Right.
Bomber, but I mean,
It's definitely a big deal, but
yeah, I think we're okay. And
yeah, the way a lot of people on social media is acting, you could tell the civilians that never served, that never had versus whoever else. Like, listen, y'all, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. Um, uh, but hey, prayers to anybody, to all service members, civilians, and anyone American that is overseas, because um, just like that, you can easily become a target.
Absolutely, brother.
So, you know, that's one thing for sure. I saw that charges for Diddy were dropped. Charges were kidnapping, arson, sex trafficking, and was there another one? Hold on. No, here's a full kidnap, abetting, sex trafficking, and attempted arson. Those were major charges that were the reason why he was denied bail. What does that mean? I have no idea yet. A lot of people saying we could be potentially looking at some time served or a very, 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 very short sentence for him, being that
Yeah.
some of those charges were dropped. Well, those charges were dropped, and those were considered some of the major charges. So we'll see in the upcoming days or week whenever this trial is over with.
You think you're gonna do time?
Being with those charges dropped, I don't know, dog. I honestly stopped following it, I guess after the first week. Besides the clips I would see here and there of people talking about it and saying what was said inside the courtroom. But these are some major charges that was dropped.
Major. And one of my homies said it's a small win for Diddy. I think it was a huge win.
Yeah.
Because trafficking is major.
That was what they was really trying to build their case off of.
Yeah. Trafficking is major.
Man. Whew. It don't look so Rico-ish now. It don't look so Rico-ish now. Like, yeah. But listen, I think whatever happens, Diddy's gonna be talking his shit somewhere down the road in the near future. He's gonna be talking because he's not gonna get the time that it was looking like he was gonna get.
If Diddy gets off, pause, bruh, he nigga might parade around like Nicky Barnes, man.
and both from Harlem.
Yeah, both from Harlem.
He might. I wouldn't. Honestly, right now, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
I mean, and I'm not saying it's right, but
Right.
the lady been paid off, right?
Yeah.
Handsomely, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you, dog. A lot of these motherfuckers, I have no idea who. Some of them, but anyway, we didn't talk about this. Lubin Van Allen.
Yeah.
Decided to go. Well, first he said he's entering the transfer portal not to leave UNC, but to wait to see how. I think it was a ruling for the NCAA and more money for NIL. A couple weeks, month and a half later, it ended up turning to him transferring to, transferring to NC State, which is a hated rival of the Tar Heels.
Man. Yeah, Reg, I didn't see this one coming. That's crazy, dog. But I'm sure it was money he couldn't turn down. I'm sure it had a lot to do with uh, Carolina having a big man, transfer. The guy from Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it had something to do with that,
Mm.
right? Because I mean, let's just be clear, Van Lumen, he not shooting no ball,
No.
right? So he needs to be in the paint. You can't be in the paint with a guy like what's his name, Vesser.
Yeah.
You can't be in the paint with a 7 footer,
No.
even though he can shoot it.
Right.
But in our system, the big man's going to be in the paint.
Yeah. It would have been better. I'm not even saying, I mean, it is what it is. This is the first time we've seen this happen. Of course, Styles went to NC State, but that was after going to Georgetown. Um, but straight transfer. So, I mean, he could have just, hey, I'm transferring out.
Well, listen, he owes us no loyalty at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Motherfucker came from Vanderbilt, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? He don't give a shit.
hmm I was talking to Smurf. Me and Smurf was talking about this earlier. We've gone way. Those days of loyalty or this or that. We are used to a lot of homegrown guys on the roster. Or people that come to UNC and they grew up. They may have grew up in, let's use Harrison Barnes, for example, grew up in Iowa. And I loved the Tar Heels from the day I started playing basketball. And, you know, this is the only place I ever wanted to be. That school down the road, that school down the other, we past those days. That money is going to talk and you going to jump. I mean, we're not too far from seeing somebody go from Auburn to Alabama or Alabama to Auburn or Duke to UNC or UNC, so.
I mean,
Best
shit.
way to money.
Motherfuckers done went from Ohio State to Michigan.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like you said, those days are long gone.
hmm Good luck to him. I do hate that the way the schedules have came out that we're only gonna play NC State once.
In Raleigh.
Yeah, in Raleigh, but it is what it is. um. So last week I talked about we're gonna talk mental health real quick. This is our last. This will be our last podcast in men's mental health or men's mental health awareness month. So let's talk mental health real quick. Um, so last week I talked about my Father's Day, and not getting that, Father's Day, from my daughter. Now, since then I talked to my therapist today, and that was one of the things that she talked about. She asked about Father's Day, so I told her, and I told, basically, what I said on the podcast, and she asked me how did it affect me or whatever, and I told her like, it's just one of those things. I'm like, you know what, it is what it is, whatever, you know, um, because we come through like, hey, as a man, you get what you get, and you accept it. Long as you're doing this, you're providing, you're blah 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 blah. That's what matters the most, right?
That's what
So, huh?
wait, that's what she said?
No, 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 no. That's not what she said. I
Oh,
said,
I'm sorry.
no, I said, the reason why I told her, like, it is what it is. Like,
Oh, you said that based on
right.
okay.
But, so she said, well, let's talk about it. So, we got to it, and she was like, Reggie, it bothers you, right? And I'm like, well, to be honest with you, yes, but I tucked it in because nobody really cares or wants to hear about it, you know? And that's usually the case. I mean, you of course you're gonna have people say, well, like I know, for instance, I have you to talk to it about, and obviously I do care about it, but
Right.
same time, it's kind of like outside of you, a couple other homies and a couple other people, it's gonna be like, nigga, get over it, like, so. Um, we had that talk, and the one thing that after I talked to her, I asked myself, I'm like, well, why did it bother me?
Okay.
You know, um, and then how do I have this conversation? Because one of her things, she was like, "Well, I think you and your daughter should talk about it." So I'm like, "Well, how do I have this conversation with my daughter?" This is, me and Passion have had conversations and heartfelt conversations, but we haven't had the conversation that where, dad was opening up, talking about his feelings to her or being vulnerable.
Well, guess what? I think at the end of the day, she needs to understand because next time or where there's a some type of situation that she could think that may help her think twice because you got feelings too, regardless of you being a dad.
Hmm. Yeah. Right. And that's one thing I guess I've tried to, when I talk to her guy, TJ, like, hey, this is what, because even in my Father's Day message to him, I told him like, hey, look, if you haven't heard it from a lot of people, like, look, I appreciate what you're doing for my daughter and the kids. This, as men, we often don't get, thanked or, you know, whatever. It's kind of like we're the second thought. So, if anybody has not said it, I definitely appreciate what you're doing, Now, for me, that was a tough one. Like just thinking about just the conversation with her, because like I said, I don't think I've opened up and shown her that vulnerable side. Like, hey, look, this her dad. This really her dad, or she's seen that side because for her, I feel like I've had to be, you know, like you, damn near Superman.
Right.
You know?
I think again, like I said, I think you should have a conversation with her, let her know where you stand.
Hmm.
Let her know um, that you really wasn't fucking with it because it's important to know because you can't hold somebody against you can't hold anything against someone who doesn't know
Yeah.
what they're doing to you, right? Like you can't, you,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, what you consider common sense or what you consider, you know, a no brainer might not be. She
Right.
might have whatever she got going on in her life or whatever the case may be, and so regardless, I think you need to speak on it, bro.
Yeah. I definitely plan on it, after, having that talk and, today and everything. And just, it's just the approach, because my daughter is, she's, I'm not, I guess I could say sensitive. So it's just the approach and coming across, because, you know, like I said, that is, I don't want it to come across as I'm getting on her about it, but I guess it's just more the awareness of it,
Right.
you know. But yeah, that I don't know. And honestly, that was something I think I dealt with um throughout the whole, I guess, up until today, just replaying it, thinking about it, like because you know how me and Passion are. That's my queen. That's my first lady.
Right.
It's been me and her for a long, just me having her, her growing up with me. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll share that interaction.
For sure, man.
Yeah, but yeah, like guys, I do back to the men's health and mental health awareness month and everything. I definitely advise y'all to have that person that y'all can talk to. Whether it's therapist or whoever else. And I've honestly understood. Sometime for me, just listening to you or my homie Jake or somebody else, just talk about their issues and problems, have been therapy for me, because it's almost kind of like, what? I got these niggas that I can talk to, and they are going through some of the same things that I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I'm not alone in this situation or in these, in these problems,
Right.
and that's more or less, the way I feel has been kind of therapeutic for me.
That's a good thing, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody need an outlet.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Our time this summer is coming to an end. I think I said that earlier. I'd take her back. So I'm you know, kind of kind of sad about that a little bit, but because I just we haven't checked off a lot that I wanted to do. Um, she is, oh my God, when I tell you, and like YouTube is so consuming in her life right now.
Tell
Like
me about it.
cutting her off from it is a task within itself. Um, but enjoying it. What do we do, man? What we talk about? All right. So during my father's birthday, right? My brother had girl he was talking to, messing with, whatever. I don't know their situation they're dealing with, but I do know she came over for him to pick him up, give him a ride wherever he was going, and they seemed to be a little more than just friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, I noticed that she was ready to leave. She had been over there, kicking it with us, taking a shot here and there, talking, whatever else. So, you know, big brother that I am, I looked, I was like, hey, I think old girl ready to go, man. Blah 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 blah. Nigga said, man, fuck her. She can wait.
Okay. Was he lit?
Yeah, yeah, he been drinking. So I was like, oh, well, okay, wow,
She was sitting right there.
yeah. And I
Mm.
felt like I felt like like I probably should pull him to the side, like, hey, look, it's not what you do. That's not, you
Yeah, that ain't it.
should treat her like that.
Yeah, that
But
ain't it.
at the same time, I'm like, I don't know their situation, and maybe I should stay out of it.
Right.
You know, um, but so when you're in surroundings to where you see one of your friends or somebody you care about, homie, brother, whatever else, mistreating a woman, how do you what's your approach to that?
Um, Try my best to pull him to the side and let him know what's going on, especially if it's my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially if it's my little brother. I'm definitely going. Once I see what's going on, I'm definitely going. Pull him to the side and let him know, like, big dog, that ain't it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you want some clown shit.
it don't matter what it is. Like, the last thing you want to do is embarrass this young woman in front of in a spot where she's the outcast.
True. True.
Because that'll make you want to that'll make you want to flip the man.
Yeah.
Because I done been there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have been there where a motherfucker try to flex on me, and I was by myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I looked at him, I was like, hey, this ain't what you do, how you do it. But he is the one that when he drinks is a little, so after a while I'm like, I'm gonna end up putting him through the concrete if we continue with this discourse. So however, but and then at the same time, she didn't leave. She had a little issue with it. Um, she said something about it. They had a little back and forth, and then it was kind of like, so I was like, you know what? Outside of this, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I definitely didn't like it. I definitely didn't like it at all. It you know, especially a family member, but I'm like, look, we shouldn't be treating women like this. Especially this girl came over here to pick you up and take you home.
Right. Wrong is wrong, but like you said, you don't know the dynamic.
Yeah.
She might have pissed him off or some shit. Who knows?
Mm,
There might be beefing. Who knows?
right. Should you should your friends encourage you to stay, leave, or cheat?
Should they or do they?
Is it, well, should they, or would you consider it wrong? Any of the three?
Any of the three?
Yep.
I think if your friend, That's a trap question, man. The trap question, brother. You got to be quicker than that. Listen, I'm not gonna. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna be like, tell my partner, man, go cheat on that motherfucker back. Like I'm not gonna do that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like but when it comes down to like hearing out my partner and he want to tell me his reasons for wanting to leave, then I'm gonna hear him out and I'm gonna give my advice. If some shit go down and he want to stay, I'm gonna hear him out,
Right.
and I'm gonna tell him I'm a supporter. It's really that simple for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like either of the three. I was try my best to stay away from telling somebody to stay, leave, or cheat. Hey,
Okay.
um, and like you, I'm gonna hear them out. I'm never and because I know how it feels to have or be in a relationship to where I fucked up and one of my lady's friends told her, hey, you should leave that nigga.
Right.
And here I am trying to put in, major work, and I got uh Dodo over here telling her, fuck what that nigga doing, you should leave. You know?
Right.
So yeah, I don't think that's to each his own how friends do. I mean, we've had plenty of talks like this. Even when you went through what you went through, I went through. I never
Yeah.
once told you to leave, stay, or whatever else.
Right. 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 Right.
It
Hell
is
no.
it. I one thing I will maintain, is like, hey, you gotta think about what's best for you,
Yeah.
and it whatever decision you make, it may hurt, it may, but whatever best decision it is for you. I was asked about that too. um, what was it? We'll get to it next week. Um, and my situation, your situation specifically came up from somebody that listens to the podcast, like just asking about being so close with the two people, and if one vents to you about things that's going on, and then the other vent to you about things going on, you know, how that is a trap and bad. I gotta remember the specific context it was used in, but you know, we'll when I remember we'll talk about it. Um I think that's pretty much it, man. I think we talked about cutting people off when you get in a relationship last week. I think that was something that was asked. Let's hit these unapologetic truths so I can go eat. Um Are you willing to practice abstinence while in a relationship? Why or why not?
Mm.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not. And the reason why is because
I've been through that.
yeah. Um, if
Uh-huh.
if we started out that way, the relationship started out that way, then we're if I decide to abstain until we decide the timing is right, then yes, that's a big if. But I'm I'm not starting a relationship like that, and I'm not deciding in the middle of a relationship to do that either. Well, it's hard to say what you won't do, but that's pretty much. I think I've been through enough in life to where I know what I'm going to accept now and what I won't accept. And I think that's probably one of them.
Right. Yeah, I ain't with it.
Um, what's a harsh truth that you've accepted so far as a man? Ooh,
Harsh truth that I've accepted as a man
yeah.
about me being a man.
As a man, as I guess, well, yeah, I guess in general, as a man, what's a harsh truth that you have accepted?
Uh,
Well, as a man, yeah, it says accepted as far as a man. Yeah.
as a man, I feel like I don't know if I will ever be in a relationship with a woman that I feel 100% appreciated.
Mm. Mm. That's a big one.
It is, but it's the truth. It's my truth.
Wow. Mm. Wow.
And when I'm saying it, I'm not saying it like I'm saying it from a standpoint of expectations,
Okay.
right? And if the expectation is, let's just say I'm having a shitty day,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I just need to be alone for a moment and chill out and make sure that I get my mind together, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just one example. This isn't, you know, I'm not saying it's anything current or anything in the past. I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, the expectation is for me to still handle my business in a lot of ways. So I'm like, I feel like I pay the cost to be the boss, and I feel like I deserve to take a knee,
Yeah.
right? And so I think in a lot of relationships, women don't look at men that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think mine would kind of be similar, but I think I'm more or less leaning to the side of as a man, you have to be you can't be there is nobody. Well, not I'm not gonna say nobody, but I would say the majority of women, if not all, you can't be 100% vulnerable with.
Mm, mm. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I know I'm gonna hear about this. I'm gonna get a couple text messages from
Yeah, you will, and so
a lot,
and
but
you gonna get some text messages about what I said.
right,
So
yeah, I know it. Yeah, but I know from a lot. But I say that because um there's been times to where there was assumption that safe space to be 100% vulnerable was assumed that it was provided, which it wasn't. Like, no, you can't, you know, you providing a safe space is contingent of what I feel like is a safe space, not what
talk
you,
about actions.
not yeah,
It's
not what you
not
think is safe
yeah,
space.
not just because you say it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Um, I'll wait. We'll have further discourse if y'all want. I'm pretty sure there'll be questions. By the age of 25, what's one thing a man must understand? Hmm.
By the age of 25,
Yeah. What's one thing a man must understand?
that this world don't owe you shit.
Oh, I was about to say, I was about to say that, but yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna put in those words, but yeah, yeah, yeah. The world.
Unless you strike gold or you come from a wealthy ass family, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. It's gonna come with work
Mm-hmm.
and sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The world don't owe you nothing. And you should be comfortable with being with sacrifice.
I like that. Being comfortable with sacrifice. I like that.
More times than not, regardless of of what the situation is. You're gonna have to sacrifice, and you're gonna be uh somewhere down the totem pole, whether it's with your woman, kids, family, whatever. Like because most times most men are looked at as the person that's supposed to make shit happen and do
Right.
right or wrong.
Right, for sure.
All right. I'm gonna try to enjoy the rest of my night, man. I'm not entertaining this draft no more. So we're getting to the part to where I don't even know who the fuck none of these motherfuckers is. I'm still confused on why Drake Powell wasn't invited. But I guess we see why now, because he hasn't got picked yet in the top, what, 15, 16. So
I don't know this guy Thomas Sorber who just went to Georgetown
to OKC.
Yeah, I live here, and I have no clue who that is.
Exactly.
But anywho, I done said it a million times. Maybe that should be the title of our pod tonight. No clue.
Okay.
But man, I appreciate you, big dog, for keeping this thing afloat, man, and jumping on here with me, man. I know you've been busy, man, with the little lady. I've been busy with my children, and to the point where I just had to stop the pod for a moment to handle my scandal. My apologies for that. But as always, shout out to my support team, my support system, man, who hold me down. It's been a rough couple of weeks for me. But man, guess what, man? My support system, they showed up and they showed out, man. I'm forever grateful. Don't even look at the screen. You don't know who he is. And so, and as always, mental health is real. Myself and Reg may not be subject matter experts when it comes down to it, but I can assure you, before you harm yourself or you harm others, please tap into Unapologetic Pod on Facebook and or IG, or our individual IGs and or Facebook. And I can assure you, we will get you the help that you need. Other than that, big dog, you already know what's going on with me, man. Different toilet, same shit.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I definitely appreciate you too. All fellas, man, listen, take your mental health serious. Get the talks, the therapy, the things that you need. I honestly, today's session was a lot. Today I learned a lot about. I'm not gonna say about myself that I didn't already know, but talk for another day. But I appreciate everybody for the love, the support. Y'all like, share, subscribe, and just for the ones that call and check up. Just to say, hey, what the fuck you got going on? What you doing? How you feeling? All that other good stuff. I appreciate it.
Right.
And family, friends, love y'all, my babies. Y'all know how I feel about y'all, man. I got to get up that way. I'm gonna try to get up that way soon, before Shania starts school.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll see. But I appreciate y'all. Hey, keep your head on a swivel. It's crazy out there, y'all.
Please.
Yeah. Low silhouette, head on a swivel. But as always, we're unapologetic, we're unfiltered. Y'all know who it is. Your favorite two North Carolinas. We will see y'all next week. We out of here.
Take it easy.
You know what it is. Thanks for listening to another episode of Unapologetic, the podcast. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
Better follow me.